Likely remember where you were the night President Obama announced that Osama bin Laden had been killed, ending the manhunt for the orchestrator of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Tomorrow marks 12 years since that announcement. Our Katie Kairos has new details about that raid from the White House.
Well, almost exactly 12 years ago, on May 1st, 2011, American Special Operations Forces raided Osama bin Laden's compound and killed the al-Qaeda leader. And in the intervening years, many movies and books have been put out about what happened. But on Friday, we got some new information. A never-before-seen image depicting the intensity and drama during the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. Then President Obama and Vice President Biden in the White House Situation Room, tension visible on their faces, pressing Defense Secretary Bob Gates. One of several newly published pictures from inside the White House on that momentous day, May 1st, 2011.
They all knew, look, if this thing goes wrong, al-Qaeda fights back, special operations people are captured or killed, bin Laden isn't there, the Pakistani military gets involved, a lot of things that could go wrong.
These pictures just obtained by the Washington Post from the Obama Presidential Library from a Freedom of Information Act request. Previously, this was the image the public knew best from that day. Obama, along with Biden, then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and other top aides, watching the bin Laden raid in real time, Clinton's hand over her mouth. CNN national security analyst Peter Bergen believes this was around the time the Navy SEALs helicopter clipped a wall and was damaged in a hard landing. Bergen interviewed President Obama and all of the key players in the room for the CNN documentary, We Got Him.
It's here where we observed, for example, that one of the helicopters got damaged in the landing.
And what were you thinking?
I was thinking that this is not an ideal start.
I mean, your heart was in your throat the whole time we were in there. I've never spent a more stressful 30-plus minutes in my life.
The newly released pictures show Obama watching intently, asking questions. When word came that the raid was successful, Obama is photographed shaking hands with Gates. Other photos depict the president making calls to give the news to former presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, and calls to other world leaders. Other images show the president and his team working on the speech that he would give to the nation late that night, as they could hear a crowd gathering outside the White House. In one of the newly released photos, Biden and then Joint Chiefs Chairman Admiral Mike Mullen show White House photographer Pete Souza the rosary beads that they'd had wrapped around their fingers during the bin Laden raid.
What sense did they give you of just the relief afterward?
I'll tell you what a lot of people said. They said that they only really realized what a big deal this was when they left the White House. Suddenly they hear these cheers, and that's when people said, some people said I started crying.
USA! USA! USA!
And on those phone calls that President Obama made to tell other world leaders about what had happened, according to Obama's memoir, when he called Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari, Zardari said, quote, "Whatever the fallout, it's good news," end quote. And that's despite public backlash from the Pakistani government at the time, expressing serious displeasure with the raid. At the White House, Katie Kairos, WUSA 9.